Okay, you may hear the fan and you might hear thunder and a wild daisy might appear, but I gotta intro this video, so. Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are returning, yes? Are you my audience? You gonna be my audience? Okay. Today, I'm gonna be making a cake for 5,000 subscribers. If you'll allow me to get sappy for a moment, I just wanted to say a very sincere thank you for this. I've been working towards this goal for as many years on YouTube, and maybe that seems like a long time to a lot of people, but I feel like it just made the journey sweeter, you know? Maybe Miley Cyrus had something going, you know, it's the climb. Anyways, one of my patrons, Mel, had this idea for me to make a cake with like sugar glass in the top. You'll see in the video, doesn't really work out that way. But when does anything I bake on this channel ever work out exactly the way that it's supposed to, right? Yeah, and I also intended to make a 5-layer cake, but I very seriously underestimated the amount of stuff I was gonna need for that. And after I had made 3 layers, I was like looking at all the stuff I had and I was like, well, I don't have enough to make 5 layers. And also the cake was huge already. Would you like to come sit over here? Oh yeah, there's thunder. Okay. I did try to make it spooky. It's a Victoria cake, which I thought was apropos because it's my name. It was named that because I guess Queen Victoria liked to eat this cake with her tea. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I see you. I'm gonna leave the recipe in the description. I made a little bit more than the recipe calls for, but yeah. And that recipe is how Victoria cake is supposed to be made. As you watch this video, you will see I modified it a little bit, a lot, but it turned out really good. So if any of you want to make something vegan, that recipe turned out really good actually. Didn't film me actually making the cake, just the making of the frosting and putting everything together, because that part was just kind of boring and it would have been like way extra long if I had filmed that part. So I actually made the cake and put it in the oven and let it cool off camera, and then I made everything else on camera and obviously put it together, which you're gonna see. So yeah. Anything you would like to add, ma'am? Thank you. Okay, so let's get this started. Like I said, I skipped the cake making part. You can see the cakes off to the side there. I just thought it'd be way too long of a video, and there's nothing really spooky about making the cake bases. To be honest, there's nothing really spooky about what I'm doing here either. I'm just pouring sugar into a saucepan and trying to boil it. Which, yeah, you'll see I keep foreshadowing. It doesn't really work the way I want. Maybe I just didn't quite have enough sugar. I was a little bit short. I think I was supposed to have 1.5 cups, and I didn't quite have that. Yeah, basically you're just meant to boil it and stir it until it becomes kind of like a simple syrup, I guess. At least that's what the Martha Stewart recipe told me should happen. So after dissolving everything, and it seemed very kind of syrupy and starting to get thick, I decided to just go ahead and pour it on the pan like the instructions said. I will mention this later on too. I didn't realize until I started dissolving the sugar that the type of sugar would definitely affect the color of the glass, so to speak. So we use a natural sugar, not the like super like processed white sugar. So yeah, I guess, I don't know what I was attempting, stained glass that somebody hasn't cleaned in a while. I don't really know, but I figured I would have been okay with it if it had worked, but it didn't work. So now you gotta make the buttercream frosting, which is super easy. It's just powdered sugar, butter, and vanilla sometimes, or like any other flavoring, I guess, if you were gonna make it a flavored buttercream. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Always sift your dry ingredients too if I'm gonna try and do any sort of baking instruction, which I absolutely shouldn't. If you've seen any of my baking videos, don't let me give you instruction on anything. Just follow the recipes that I link in the description. Because I'm clearly just not good at this. I also never make cakes like this. If I can just give myself an excuse here for a second. I never make cakes like this because they're time consuming and difficult. I like watching stuff like this, like on the Great British Bake Off, but that's about it. But yeah, so I'm mixing the buttercream. I always start with a spatula just to get it started so that when I put the hand mixer in there, it doesn't send powdered sugar everywhere. But hand mixing is so much fun because it's so fast, and eventually you'll start to look like buttercream, just like that. All right, intermission is over, and now I am going to try and stack the cake. This is the part I was dreading the most because, yeah, this is why I don't do layered cakes, because this is difficult and time consuming, and I just can't be bothered most of the time. So I'm trying to make the top flat and even so that when I lay the other layers on top of it, then it lays flat. And you'll see here as I turn it that I royally fucked that up. Like, it was just so wonky. Like, how do they do that on the Great British Bake Off? I'm saying, like, it's so difficult. This is why I don't do this. The only good thing to come out of this was I was just eating the pieces of cake that I was like shaving off of the top. But yeah, and I was just trying to make sure right there that it was even before I started putting the raspberry jam in the middle. I've seen recipes that use either raspberry jam for the center or strawberry. I guess you could do either. I just thought raspberry would be a little bit more fun. So yeah, this part isn't really all that interesting. You just put your jam in between the layers and stack the layers, and then try and decide where to start icing the cake and go for it. It's not going to be great, but eventually, after a long time of smashing frosting onto the side of the cake, you will get something that looks a little bit like this. You know, it looks a little bit, as they would say in the Great British Bake Off, rustic, which after doing this cake I realized is like low-key a British insult because, yeah, rustic means it looks wonky. So the sugar glass was kind of a fail. You bake and you learn. Tip maybe for anybody who wants to try this: weigh down your parchment paper or something, because the parchment paper is making it all pool in the middle, which is taking it way long to dry. Also, if you want realistic looking glass, you should probably get like the super processed white sugar, because we use natural sugar and I didn't think about that until I started to make it, and I was like, oh, it's gonna end up brown. But yeah, that could be like stained glass or dirty glass or something. If you want the super realistic effect, then maybe get other sugar. But I just took a knife in it and some jam on top, just to end the video because I really want to eat this. And it's tea time, and I have tea over there ready to go. And I just want a piece of this cake. So, oh no, I got a little bit there. I just stuck a knife in it. It looks kind of spooky, right? Without all the layers slide. I'm just like, I don't do layered cake, so I just feel like the layer is just, I feel like something's gonna just topple.
Yeah, I should have used toothpicks in it.
Oh, that would have been smart. We don't have toothpicks, I don't think, do we?
No.
Yeah. Okay, except I can't see where And
It's delicious.
Is it good? Let's see. I get a little bit of everything in the bite. Mmm. Thank you for watching this. Mess of a video. Sorry I couldn't do the broken glass. Maybe I'll have broken glass
I should have
later.
named you Betty. It's like Betty Crocker instead of Victoria.
God. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a creepy peep today. We're 5,000 creepy peeps strong. Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you very, very soon. Until then, stay strange. Bye.